Guys, it's Ricky here again, and today we've got a first place regional deck profile from Mike. He was playing Dracopal at the Aylesbury regional. Over 7 rounds he won 6 and drew 1. He's played some rather strange tech choices in his deck, so when he gets to those I'll explain them, why he plays them, how it helps advance his plays. So, do you want to get into it, Mike?
Right. We'll start off with the more obvious stuff for the deck. 4 power engine. So 3 sorcerer, monkey board, joker, 2 lizard draw. I played 2 turtle. I think turtle is a really good one to open up if you have any of the other ones. It gets you the draws, it gets you a little bit deeper. Even though you can't pendulum summon it, I still think it's quite good. And play 2 silver claw as well, because it's another high scale. It's a dark, which is relevant for quite a few of the other cards in the deck, and the attack boost can also be relevant in some matchups as well. And the Dracos, 1 luster, the 3 master, and the 3 vector. I max out on each of those because I've got quite a lot of cards which search out normal monsters as Rescue Rabbit, Unexpected Die, Painful Decisions. So I don't want to dead draw cards. So I want to max out on them I want to max out on them just to help keep those cards alive and to also help me make the Titanic Galaxy easier as well. And the other pendulums are Ariadne's to search out the counter traps, and Eccentrics to get rid of annoying cards, particularly against Monarchs, but also against other decks as well. And then the normal effect monsters. Rescue Rabbit grabs out 2 master or 2 vector, just general +1. If I open that, I can quite easily make Titanic just by having that go into 2 master and then pendulum back the masters and making the Titanic off of that. 2 Summoner Monk. I got the idea to play this after doing terrible at a regional and losing to a guy who's playing a 60 card Pepe deck. And he opened this and he got so many pluses just by special summoning the sorcerer off of this on his first turn, and it's got really far. And I worked out if you open this with a spell, you could go +3 or +4, independent of whatever else you had in hand. But then because of those pluses that you get, this is all before the pendulum summon as well. So you can really set yourself up. Even if you put a maxes, you can you just give them 1 special summon and you let yourself go +2 by popping itself and the sorcerer that is special summons. And you search for like monkey board, your turtle, and get the +2 off that. Your opponent just goes even, but you've just plussed anyway, so that doesn't matter. And I played Mass Chameleon as well, which that was a last minute addition, and I mainly added it in because of the Summoner Monk play, because I couldn't really work out a good way to if I opened the Summoner Monk combo, there wasn't really a good way to there wasn't really a safe board. So by playing Mass Chameleon, I could go Summoner Monk special sorcerer, destroy any 2 cards, normally the scales, and then overlay Summoner Monk with sorcerer into King of Feral Imps, then pendulum summon the Chameleon with other stuff, and then from there make Ignister and Dinister, and then the Titanic.
Before you get onto these spells, how come you're not running the Dark Engine, one that has been doing pretty well recently?
I don't like Dark Engine. I like Zephyros. I think Zephyros is good, but I don't want to play. I don't want to play 3 Armageddon Knights and the Dragon and possibly Beast just to kind of help out with that. I'm only playing quite a few Darks, and I'm playing the Lords as well, which does sort of tie into that. But I think the Dark Engine gives you too much of a possibility to dead draw some cards and have them just sort of and have you not getting the full effects of them.
Okay.
And the spells, the Draco Face Off, because it's OP. It's an instant +1. If you get the luster, you're plussing even more than that. Unexpected Die. Unexpected Die was really good. It only got used once or twice, but because I drew it, I was able to make the Galaxy on like turn 1. I played against Minerva Lightsworns in the 3rd round, and I opened this. I was able to get out the Galaxy because of it, and it proved to be a bit of a struggle for him to get over, because then he couldn't use the charged light brigade that he had in his hand. I think that was the only spell he had as well, so he couldn't really get around that. But yeah, this just helps you get to the. Well, it's the only way to also get a special summon pre pendulum summon outside of Summon the Monk, which can be really relevant if you need to make a direwolf to get rid of a back row before you pendulum. It's 2 painful decision. Searches out Master or Vector and puts another one in the grave. It's really good for setting up Dinosaur because then you've already got a Master in grave. When you make Dinosaur, you special that, so you can normally make a Z's when you make Titanic Galaxy as well. Tombs and Fusions. I play Tombs and Fusion targets in the extra deck, but I'd still play, even if I only played one, I'd still play 2 of these because it combos well with Painful Decision. If you open both of them, you're pretty much guaranteed to make a Z's, even if you can't make the Titanic Galaxy, because you get the monster in the grave straight away, and then Institution brings it back, and then you can pretty much guarantee that you're going to have a decent turn 1 if you open those 2. Consistency, the upstart, and 2 Lord Darkness. I think there's 8 dark monsters in the deck, and 6 of those are searchable. I think 4 of them need to be searched off of other monsters, but Painful Decision can search out the vectors. So it kind of helps with that. So I think it's well worth it's well worth playing the Allures even with that many darks. And even in worst case scenario, it ends up being a discard outlet for Summon the Monk. What I found as well is that even if I open, like, I could open Draco Face Off and I would still always discard that for Summon the Monk if it was the only spell in hand, because the pluses that you get off the Monk, doesn't matter what spell you have, the Monk will get you more pluses than that will on the first turn. And the traps are quite simple. The Solemn Brigade, Warning, Scolding, and Free Strike. The Scolding in testing was always really good. It just adds another card to search off the Ariadne as well. And if you open Titanic with one of these set, you normally find that's normally enough to carry you through. Scolding didn't actually get used at all, because either it was never given to me off an Ariadne, or I just never drew into it. But I say in testing it was always really good, and a lot of people apparently weren't expecting people to be playing strikes, so that was quite good for the matchups as well. Extra deck. Extra deck wasn't too crazy. Had the Ignister. No explanation needed. It's the best thing in the extra deck. It's that good. Non-targeting removal. It's just OP. 2 Dinoster. Needed to play 2 of them, because if you don't draw the Luster, you need to be able to make Galaxy in some other way. I don't think it's good enough to play it at 3. Cause I did test it at 3, but I didn't make it enough to warrant it. I mean, 2 is good with that though. Played 1 Magister. I've seen a lot of lists where people play 2. I never found myself needing to make a second one at any point, so I decided to play 1 and to use extra space on other stuff instead. And there's the Titanic Galaxy. This card is really OP. Even against decks that don't normally use a lot of spells, so it's like any game I brought this out, I won. It may not have, it wasn't even always on the turn I brought it out. Even against Burning Abyss, it was either too big for them to get over, or there was a PK Fire player I played against. I had this sitting out for absolutely ages, and all of the effects were really problematic for him in this game, because he made an F-0 and tried to attack into a Magister, which I had increased the attack of because he killed an Abyss fella. So I had a Magister with over 3,500 attack. So he tried to steal that to kill this, but I made him attack this instead, and then he couldn't risk attacking anyone else because his life was too low. And he had a Regeki in hand that he could never play because of the other effects as well. So this card's just OP. Like you might not always get to use all of the other effects, but it's so good. I put a Key Beetle in. Main reason for this was with some of the I started a lot of continuous trap cards for Monarch, Cosmo, or Burning Abyss, and if I can't open the Galaxy, if I can't open the Galaxy, I can normally open the Key Beetle, and if I open that with one of those continuous traps, that's normally enough to see me through. It didn't get used, but that was mainly because I was always able to open the Galaxy instead. King of Pharaoh Imps searches out Lizard Draw, searches out Mass Chameleon. Enough said from that. Giant Hand it doesn't really get used against Cosmo. It didn't get used at all actually. It doesn't get used against Burning Abyss. If I had a chance to if I ever could make it against Monarchs, I would go into that because because being able to stop Erebus or Idea, stopping them and stopping them from going off is ideal. Castel spins away problem cards. Direwolf pops problem cards. Can get rid of back row before the Pendulum Summon. Daugusta Emerald allows me to shuffle the main thing is it puts the Ignister back in the extra deck. It can also revive Master of Vector. That didn't really come up, but it's still a nice effect to have. That unlike Magister or unlike Dinosaur, you can bring back your normal monsters without them having the restrictions on them. Abyss Dweller against graveyard effects, just need it in there for the utility. Evil Nightmare. I think this card is really good. Against Cosmo, it's a semi-out to destroyer because you can set it and then you can get rid of it in that way. It's amazing against Burning Abyss because you set any one of their monsters and then you turn off all of their Burning Abyss monsters. So anytime they try to summon them, they just get destroyed by their own effects. Play the Norden. It's OP. It's a fusion target. It's just too good. And because I had the space, I put the Thousand Eyes in there. I never use this at all, but the only time I would ever use it is if I happen to draw both instant fusions and couldn't put the Norden back in. That situation didn't come up for once, so that didn't get used. And then the side deck was 3 Iron Wall. I don't like Cosmo. I want to stop them. Key Beetle with that tends to have me game against them. Similar kind of thing against Monarchs, Mask Restrict. Something tribute summoning. It means I don't get ruined by Domain, and Key Beetle with that tends to be quite good. The Monarch guy I played against, I opened this with Titanic Galaxy. He opened an MST, so I ate that with the Galaxy. He then played Domain, reduced the level of monster in his hand, played Return, then played Stormforth, and I flipped over the Mask Restrict, and it was pretty much game over there. Played 2 Shadow Imprison Mirror. I wasn't free with this because I really don't like Burning Abyss, but I took out one of them and I took out something else as well, just so I can make space for other stuff. For example, Flying Sea as well. I played 3 of this originally as well, but I went to 2 because having multiple of them doesn't really help, so I'd rather have a bit more diversity against Burning Abyss than have all in one thing. I put in 2 Maxi when I took out the Flying Sea and the Shadow Emprise. The main use of this was for against Burning Abyss. So if they try going off, they would give me too much advantage for it to be worth them. So they normally stop. And I think the one time I did draw it. The guy just scooped as soon as I dropped it. So the third eccentric. This is mainly for Monarchs to get rid of Domain or just to pop the Monarchs themselves. And then 2 Twin Twisters. Also mainly for against Monarchs and also against Cosmo when they set lots of back row.
Awesome. So, is there anything in your deck, main, side, or extra that you'd consider taking out and changing for maybe Nationals, or if you're going to that?
I would. I saw a lot of people that were side decking a lot of Kaiju stuff. Honestly, I completely forgot about Kaijus, so I would probably put in 1 or 2 of those just to help get around Dark Destroyer in particular, because I think that's the main problem card. Because if I lose Ignister, I don't really have another out to that, so I'd consider putting those in. The main deck, it's going to change for Nationals because I want to play Lecter Pendulum. But I imagine with that, off the top of my head, the change I'd go with that is to drop one Silver Claw and one Vector, and then play 2 of those instead. That's about it. Oh no, there'll be some changes in the extra deck. So I might drop the Thousand Eyes District, and I might drop the Key Beetle, but so the Key Beetle didn't really get used, so I'm not 100% on that. But I'd like to put in another rank 8, just for a bit of diversity for the turn 1 play.
Awesome. Right, thank you. See you in a bit.